Hello, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to our ADSO podcast about dental careers in a DSO, where we discuss the advantages of a DSO environment and why you may be interested in pursuing a career as a supported dentist in a DSO.
Hi, this is Dr. Kyle Polson. I'm a dentist in Southern California, and I work with the DSO. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I went to college in Southern California, graduated dental school in 2015, and was faced with the decision of if I'm going to go out into private practice, work as an associate, jump straight into ownership, or work in a DSO. And I had heard things about DSOs just like a lot of you, a lot of things to consider, so it wasn't an easy decision, but I think I made the right one, and we'll get into that in a minute. But some of the things that shaped my decision are just my life, my lifestyle, and the things that I wanted. So in school, I was super involved. I wanted something that I could remain involved and not just be a dentist. I wanted more opportunities to do stuff other than clinical dentistry, to be in leadership, to teach classes, to be involved in other ways than just spinning a handpiece. I've got a wife and 4 kids coming here pretty soon, so flexibility is important to me. Being able to have a schedule that accommodated a family life, not being at the office all hours of the night doing paperwork, submitting bills, and stuff like that. So those are a lot of things that I took into consideration making my decision. But we're going to try to talk about what's right for you. Not necessarily what was right for me, but how you can kind of come up with your own decision and what's going to be the best way to do it, kind of how I did it, just to give you a framework. And I'll give you some analogies of how I kind of rationalize it and see the opportunity and the mutually beneficial relationship of a DSO. So, like I said, Loma Linda, my dental school, I graduated in 2015. I had multiple leadership positions. I really like doing a little bit extra, staying busy, volunteering, teaching, whatever I could get my hands on to be doing something different and to be involved in my community, my dental community, and to get a different experience than what was given to me. I just like to do a little bit more. So coming out of it, I was looking for something like that, and I was worried about being pigeonholed in a private practice where you see a couple of patients a day, you have the same staff, you don't have any other doctors to talk to, and I'm a bit of a social butterfly, I guess, and that sounded claustrophobic to me. It sounded like something that I would go nuts in, and I needed more of a community environment, more of a surrounding of professionals where I could collaborate and talk and learn and get to know them. And that's something that I found in DSOs and group practice. I think a lot of where people get hung up are some of the rumors of, you're going to be told what to do, you're going to be told how to diagnose, you're going to be told how to be a dentist. And I haven't had that experience. I don't think that's true. I think there are bad people and there are good people. And you can work in private practices that have bad people and good people. You can work in DSOs that have bad people and good people. And I think if you go out there with the right attitude and you are driven and you know your values and you know what you're going to stand up for, you're going to have a great experience no matter where you go, but it all depends on your attitude. And one of the analogies I made when I was talking to some students recently was, you hear about a lot of DSOs giving a 6-month guarantee. So what I see often are students showing up, getting their 6-month guarantee only to look for work somewhere else, which if that's what you've done, that's your decision, that's fine. But imagine if you showed up intending to stay there forever. What if you showed up and took your 6-month guarantee and from day one did everything you could to not need it, to train yourself to be better, faster, more productive, better with patients, and challenge yourself to stay. And one of the analogies I made was, if you're dating someone and you know that you're only going to be there for 6 months, how productive is that relationship going to be? How far will that go? You know for a fact you will never get married. You know for a fact you'll never have children. You know for a fact you're never going to buy a home together. So why would it be any different with your profession? Why would you cut yourself that short? You've put in too much time. You've put in too much effort. Why wouldn't you dedicate everything you have into giving yourself the chance to be successful in what you're trying? Because you may not be aware of what you might like. You have no idea. You haven't experienced it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to like a DSO, but I fell in love. And a lot of it's because of my attitude, I think. I showed up with the intention of giving it everything I had. So if it turned out that I didn't like it, I knew that I had given it my best. And I could live with myself. If I gave it my best, I did everything in my power, and it still was not a fit, then I wouldn't have to worry if there was a what if. But I think people give up so quickly to move on to something else that they don't ever get to experience that. They don't ever actually grow within that model that they're in, within that DSO, and they don't get to see what it has to offer because they've never given it a chance. And so part of the benefit of DSOs that I've experienced myself, now as an owner doctor, I'd worked up as an associate for a few years, now have my own office as a partner with my company, is that I have somebody who helps me do the stuff that I don't want to do and or don't know how to do. So I'm not interested in billing insurance and being on the phone with insurance companies and haggling for dollars. I'm not interested in credentialing with insurance companies. I'm not interested in figuring out which companies to buy supplies from and trying to get the best deals, or negotiating with companies, negotiating leases, all that type of stuff that is super business savvy, and it's great if you can do it, and if you're interested in it, then more power to you. But I really want to be a dentist. I want to be a leader. I want to be involved in my career and my education, and I want to be a business person, but not in the sense of controlling every little tidbit. So I have a company that works with me, supports me, handles my IT problems. When something breaks, they have people that will fix it. They have staffing help. If I have somebody who calls in sick, I can borrow somebody from an office nearby with almost no effort. I had a recent situation where I lost a very important person on my team due to an emergency, and I had people filling in immediately to keep my office running. And if I was in private practice, I probably would have had a heart attack. So the amount of support that you get is huge. But I think you have to put in the effort on your part too. It's not a one-way street, it's a relationship. And just like any other partnership, each partner has their strengths. So you can partner with another dentist who has the same strengths as you and the same weaknesses probably, and try to run an office at some point. Or I decided to partner with a DSO whose strengths and weaknesses are opposite of mine. So what they are great at, I'm not. And what I'm great at, they can't do. So together we have a mutually beneficial relationship where we can be extremely productive and we can benefit one another financially. We can impact the community better and more efficiently, and we can provide a service to patients that's needed. I'm very happy with what we've done. I think a good way to think about, at least for me, a very simplistic way of thinking is when I was in school, I would study PowerPoints and study whatever we learned, study the books, But there were always those guys who made study guides. There were always the guys who made flashcards. And I wasn't that guy. But if somebody gave me flashcards or gave me a study guide and passed it out in class, I would use it. Because I have never been really about reinventing the wheel. I really like efficiency. I really like systems and structures. And if you give me a system that's already in place that I can tweak and I can make my own and make it better, I thrive. If you hand me a blank slate and say, make it happen, it's a bit daunting. And I think there are more efficient ways to do it. I think I'm kind of obsessed with efficiency. So being forced to create something totally new on your own, having no experience as a business person or a dentist straight out of school, is a daunting task. And there are people who can do it. And there are a lot of you who can do it. And that's okay. I didn't want that task. What I wanted was an outline that I could step into, I could tweak, make it work for me, and turn it into the office that I dreamed of. And that's what I've been able to do. With that, in my particular organization, there are tons of opportunities for growth, both in your career, personally, and within dental education that are offered. So, tons of free CE courses, implant placement, Invisalign, stuff like that we don't even pay for. You just get invited to go to these classes and learn whatever you want to learn. There's opportunities to be faculty members who lecture, who teach other dentists within the company about particular systems or particular skills. There are opportunities to grow and work on the business side, if you wanted to at some point. So there are tons of little niches within this company that can satisfy your need for growth and your ultimate potential. Within your career, I don't think you know yet what you want. So having options makes it great, because there are a lot of unhappy dentists out there. So being able to find happiness and fulfillment, I think this DSO model gives you a lot of opportunities to find that, whether it's working as an associate long-term, being an owner, whatever that means within that DSO that you look into in some capacity, or being a multiple office owner like a lot of the dentists out there who are working in DSOs. There's a lot of different ways that you can have success. The last thing that I considered was, if you look at the trend over the last, 20 years or so, DSOs are becoming more and more common, more and more powerful, if you will. They're definitely making it known that it's a priority for patients. They're efficient. They can thrive, and it's becoming more and more difficult to be in private practice. I'm not saying it's impossible by any means. There are a lot of people who do it very well, but the way things have been going, it seems, is that healthcare is integrating. It's no longer just this and just that and just this. It's a whole person, whole body model, and I think that ultimately healthcare is all going to be under one roof, and that's not substantiated on much of anything other than trends over the years and my gut feeling and things that I've talked with others about. So I'm not telling you proof or anything. I'm just telling you what I decided. But what I saw myself doing was, okay, I'm going to go out and start this private practice. What's 20 years from now look like to me? Is it me thriving, getting ready for retirement, or is it me making a really tough transition into a DSO model after I've been a private practice person for my whole life? So do I want to be ahead of the game and have this all figured out by then, where I'm already in where I think this field is going, where I think our profession is going, and I've already established myself within that, or do I want to be adapting in the later stages of my career where I'm ready to pretty much wrap it up, but I may be forced to jump into a different career path, to change the way that I've done things my whole life? And that's kind of what you have to figure out, where you think this profession is headed, where you want to be when it goes that way, and if you want to be competing, against the way things are going, or if you want to be going with it. And if you want to compete, that's awesome, and more power to you. I like the way that this is going. I love the career path that I've chosen. I've been successful and really fulfilled, and I couldn't be happier, but it's definitely not for everybody. And I wouldn't tell you that it is. I think it's just as important when you go to a job interview to interview the people that you'll be working for. But what I can tell you is that not all DSOs are bad, and people within DSOs are not bad. You have to find the one that fits you, just like any other job. Find the people that fit you. Find the people that are going to mentor you, coach you, build you up, and create the career path that you want. You can't rely on other people to do it for you. So do your research, talk to people, ask questions, ask a lot of them, ask the hard questions, the ones that you're afraid to ask. If you've heard something about a particular DSO and you want to clear it up, ask. Make sure that you give them the opportunity to give you an answer. Don't go into something blindly. But I think it's been a great career move for me. I think the potential is there to have exponential growth, and I'm really, really excited for my future. I encourage you to look into it, and if you do it, give yourself the opportunity. You owe it to yourself to do your very best, to put everything you have into it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But don't show up planning to leave, because I think that's the main difference between people's experiences is the attitude when they get there. If you show up planning to leave, you'll get nothing out of it and you'll hate it. If you show up and give it your best, you may be surprised.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you'll return to the ADSO for more learning content soon.